Bond at the moment is full of life, isn't it? There's so much going on. We've got news of a new film coming up. We've got a new game, which is going to be out in March 2026, which we're really excited about. But the one thing that Bond fans in particular really took an instant dislike to when the first series was announced was 007 Road to a Million. They really, really rallied against it. I don't understand it, I'll be honest. But enough of the snobbery, because when it came out, it was a time, wasn't it, the first series in 2023, when people were pretty miffed with Bond. You know, there was no news going on with the films, and people were like, "Is this all we're getting? We want news of a new Bond." So I think that really did for the first series in some ways. The actual show, of course, came out. Brian Cox was the controller, fat controller. Sort of like M and Blofeld at the same time. But anyway, yeah. So series one came out. We some of us, we all watched it. Some of us enjoyed it more than others. But we had some really good characters in there, including the Bone Brothers, who we interviewed, who yeah, really good lads, and the nurses, of course, who also did very, very well out of the show, and they've been to Bond events since, so it's great to see them on the Bond scene, as it were. But yes, we do have a review of the first series. I think it's not something that you need to go back and see the first series first, but if you like this one, you've got 8 more episodes of this kind of format to go on. We will talk about the format, John. Don't worry. Yeah, in fact, I'll introduce everybody. So I'm Tom, and we've got John, we've got Matt, and we've got Harry. So good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
It was a bit awkward last time when we were talking about it because certain things we didn't want to talk about because of spoilers. Now, we'll start this straight away. If you haven't seen any of it and you don't want it ruined, then listen to this at the end, when you've finished it all. But we're just going to talk vaguely through the characters, the different tasks that they did, the allusions to Bond, and of course also the thing that most Bond fans have been talking about, the differences between Series 2 and Series 1. Now, after Series 1 ended, there was a bit of silence. It was always said, oh yeah, there's a Series 2, there's a Series 2. Then you didn't hear anything. Then they put an advert for auditions. Then the advert was withdrawn or something, or the deadline came and went. So there was a bit of mystery over that, and then all of a sudden we had a trailer for the second series, and it was all done.
It all happened very quickly, didn't it? From trailer to release, really.
Yeah, which is quite. I think that's a good way of doing it, really, for something like this where we don't. If most TV that people watch now, other than say the Traitors, now you might look forward to each January, but lots of stuff it's like, oh, I whacked it on, I really liked it. I didn't.
Yeah.
Like a drama series, you didn't know they were existed until they were advertised on Amazon or wherever,
Yeah.
a few weeks or Netflix before. This is a bit like that, and I think the thing we'll start with, to be honest, is the Bond link. I want to talk about this because nearly everyone said the first series, even if they liked it, they were baffled at the lack of reference to Bond. None of the contestants referenced Bond. None of the tasks referenced them. Brian Cox didn't reference Bond. The only link really were the locations, some elements of the tasks, and the music, and that was it. That really was it. I think this series, most people will think that's been remedied. I personally would still like more reference to bot. This is the I'll get this out of the way. Before each task, I can't see the harm in just showing a clip from the films
Yeah.
that they create. And you can even have available now on Amazon. I just don't understand why they don't do that. I think it would have been good just to have, because there's no footage of any Bond film in any of the episodes. It's all locations where Bond was, and there's no specific references. This was in this film. This was in that film. So it's still for me got that. This is Bond because you're a Bond fan. If you're not a Bond fan, you're going to have to do some research really as to where it was. But I'm being a bit too.
My view on
critical
that
there.
is that I think you're right. It'd be nice if they showed just moments from the films that are kind of inspiring that episode.
Yeah.
But I think it doesn't and wouldn't match the aesthetic of what they're trying to create in terms of. Well, I don't know whether I'm a big fan of this necessarily, but I think even the cinematography is a big part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like they like it to look expensively shot, on modern, cameras with all the features, and they want it. I think they want it to have this expensive look. When you're watching like I'm a Celebrity or any other reality game show, anything like that, it's just bog standard television quality.
Yeah.
They've tried to apply a modern cinematic layer to this, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I think if they were to intersperse that with older 60s, 70s footage, it would take you out of the world they're trying to create.
Yeah,
I'd have just had it on in the controller room, on the screens.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, what I would say about that, they've definitely made an effort to put more links to Bond in and the music and everything like that. But I think they're almost trying to make it like as though these contestants are in a real life Bond adventure. Yeah. So therefore, to reference Bond films might take you out of that a bit, and also the controller and the woman, remind me of the name of that character who's
Sophia.
Who's not Moneypenny, or she's not. It's almost like they're playing characters. So if they were to say,
here's a clip from a movie.
So for that challenge of the dueling with the pistols, let's say, like in 2020, in 2012, Skyfall,
they could have the quickest snapshot trailer at the end during the credits of just a mix match of those action, quick glimpses or something. Maybe as a solution.
Because I thought at one stage, at the end of series 1, I was thinking they couldn't do it. It'd be a totally different show, but it could, it could have Dermot O'Leary or something at the end of the dam, like, guys, we all remember this from GoldenEye. You're gonna do it, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right.
That's one approach.
That would have been good, I think, but it doesn't fit with this what they're trying to go for.
I think they did it a bit. I do. I think my massive qualm with the first series was that I think they made a game show and added James Bond to it, and it was apologetic to be Bond in a lot.
Yeah.
I think that was my massive qualm with the game. This one wasn't. This one, there was far more overt references to actual things that happened in the films. And whilst they didn't do big trailers or snapshots as such, they did reference the characters, and the contestants did reference this. So the Day of the Dead parade, Alex, one of the characters at one point goes, "Oh, we've got to go on the roof."
Yeah.
Just like James Bond did in Spectre. And actually, I thought that was the perfect balance.
Yeah.
I think previously, Tom and Harry, you were big defenders of the first series, and Harry, I remember you saying that you felt that what it had done was it had been a great introductory point for people who might be interested in it by doing that without going overboard for like overtly Bond fans. I think this took that step even better this time, and I personally think having big trailers in would have been too much and would have taken away from this being its own thing.
Yeah, maybe just the odd shot of when they went up to the roof, a shot of just a 3-second clip of Bond.
Yeah,
that's all I mean. I don't mean it could. I mean, I don't mean like open like the GoldenEye dam and show the whole thing. Although that would have been quite good because it spoils the task, doesn't it? Because if you're about to see the task, I mean, that was incredible. That was done away with quite quickly.
Yeah, no.
Some of these tasks are so difficult, aren't they? And so nerve-wracking.
I agree, John, and it was very funny that bit because his husband and the other guy, I forgot the name. Dylan, yeah, were walking along and they were like, "What's the name of the boulevard?" And he's like, "James Bond is walking very, elegantly on the top of the what boulevard?" Like, and it was Chris, those references. I didn't think there were very many of them, though, personally, from what I've seen. I thought when they were driving the Aston Martin, it was like, I feel like James Bond, and like 007 being the lock. I think they could do even more. Ellipsis as well has been, which is really crisp.
Good night.
Some of those, good night. Yeah, you're right. There are lots of things, but not necessarily ones that I don't know quite. I'm not sure that there is enough there still, in my opinion, for someone to make the link from this to going to watch the films. But maybe that's not, maybe that's not the sole intention. It does put 007 on the idea of 007 Bond on the map. Yeah, just stuff like when they go to the set of the License to Kill. Well, sorry, where not set. They go to where, but you wouldn't have a clue of that unless you've seen License to Kill. There's absolutely no, I don't understand why people aren't. I find it weird that they're sometimes referencing it, but then they're not like, whoa, this is Sanchez's, this is where he runs his drug operation. It's, because most of the contestants don't have a clue about Bond, I assume. So I do think they have made improvements, but I don't understand. I think they've gone for, and I really liked the opening with the Skyfall thing. I think it was a great idea because one of the things that people love about these sorts of shows is the personal journeys of these people, and I don't think we got that from the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, again, I'm racing ahead here, but another good change that they've made is rather than it being almost 50-50 as to whether a contestant goes out straight away or not, or in the next round, it's a knockout.
Yeah, that's much better.
So you follow these people and you get to know them more.
Yeah.
And is it Nicholas Woodson?
Yes.
Yeah. Him doing that in the Skyfall manner is a great idea. Really, really good idea. And has that link to Skyfall, which some people might notice. Lost the train of my thoughts, so someone else jump in.
My view is, and of the first series, that I think I don't know whether necessarily successfully or not, I don't know, but I think they want to advertise the world of Bond in terms of all these locations and the activities that you do there, the dangerous climbing, cable cars, scuba diving. So without explicitly signposting James Bond does this, everyone watching is kind of aware that this is what James Bond does. Yeah. You're not being hit over the head with it. It's kind of this world. And then I think, this world is appealing. Like, isn't it? Wow, what an amazing world we live in. And, oh, yeah, James Bond kind of goes to these places, doesn't it? Even if you casual fans don't know exactly that it's Sanchez's, drug base. But I think, like John says, they've stepped it up enough. I think the references to Bond, it's for us as Bond fans to say that Sanchez is like, wow, I've not really seen that in other contexts. Wow, it's real. You can go there. That's exciting. And then it kind of tantalizes you, and that's all. I understand what you're saying, Matt, and I think the only way to test it, and I don't know why I've not done this, is to ask my wife, who I watch it with, does it make you want to watch James Bond? Does it make you admire the character of James Bond more? Are you more intrigued? And I'll probably go and do that and see what she says, because for her as an example, she likes shows like this anyway, where there's dangerous tasks, and that might be where it stops for her. Maybe there isn't enough that just pushes her into the world of Bond a little bit more. Maybe she's just satisfied by seeing dangerous tasks without, maybe the references are too subtle for her.
The one thing that links that, though, is you've got those dangerous tasks like in the Alps in Austria. I don't know how you do, kneeling, walking on the cable. I've no idea how to do that. But they've also got the Bond tasks, which are nothing to do with physicality, which I think are really good.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the end. There's like the final card game. That's a really in the Vienna Wheel in the Brata. You've got that.
Yeah.
It's like bluffing, but it is quite a Bond psychological game.
One of the biggest improvements for me were the tasks. Whilst the tasks last time, there were some very daring stunts that you had to do and the rest of it. The vast majority of the tasks boiled down to if you answered a question right or not.
Yeah.
Like general knowledge pub quiz kind of question.
So in a lot of ways, you were going up a crane in Matera just so you could answer a question.
Yeah.
And it was not great. This here is very much like, no, you have got to do the task that James Bond did. And even when it was a questionnaire, so the one where they're driving around the trucks
that was
around Sanchez's lair, But the fact that the idea of that, if you answer it correctly, the truck goes faster.
Yeah.
Thrilling idea.
Yeah.
It was exhilarating, though.
It was exhilarating. I'm with Harry completely. Is that what we've got to remember is that the complaints that we hear and that we feel are we are diehard Bond fans. We're in a Bond community bubble.
Yeah.
So we are obviously going to be the ones who are going to be complaining, saying they're ashamed of James Bond. What I don't know really is what the average viewer thought of the series.
I think the first series probably didn't have enough about it that made it to be one of these shows that, particularly like Lydia and people, really, really love. I mean, I'm sure she did enjoy it and everything, but I think this series does have more about it. I agree. I think the challenges are better, and they weren't just general knowledge. Even in the License to Kill, that one, it's observational. Like how many of this was there? What flag? Because that's like secret agent type stuff, and yeah, I do concede that. I'm just probably it's just as a Bond fan, but I would like to see that stronger link between it so that it makes more people. But again, if they make it so, if they were to change it so drastically from the first series, it's like, well, it's just a completely different show. I think this is a better show than it was in the first series. And what I was going to say is as well, I've remembered, they have gone down that line of the contestants and you get to know them. It makes it more interesting because you sort of, you either, some of them you like, some of them you like them less. They're probably going to want that more than contestants who know a bit more about Bond and are going to recognise all the locations or something. So I do appreciate that.
We do know David and Anthony, Licensed to Queer. I think they were approached, weren't they, to go on the show, to audition for it, and they got through many stages. But I think, according to David, that's one of the reasons that they weren't on it was because they just knew too much about Bond. I still think they'd be very good on it, but I think that's how they've sort of had a link with Alex and Rob, and they obviously don't know quite as much about Bond. But yeah, it is. You are right, Matt. It is the personalities and seeing how they progress. This journey thing. But I don't think they overdid it. There was no sob stories with teary music going on or anything like that.
No,
there was the babe. The guy's wife who got pregnant.
But that happened. To be fair, that happened on.
Yeah.
I thought the characters were the contestants. Sorry, not the characters. The contestants were. It's not that the contestants were better; their stories were better. But one of the main things with that was because they were put in competition with each other, and they were put together. Yeah. So they were doing, and there was even tasks where they were actually having to merge together.
Oh that was.
They never met each other. They were all doing.
Yeah, it's true.
On different days as well.
The casino altogether.
And this is what my thing was with the first series. I don't want to sound so begrudging, but when you strip it back as a game show, it was a shambles in terms of what it was actually doing. What kind of game show competes against each other, but you never meet the other people?
Yeah.
You don't know who you're competing against. So
well, you weren't. They weren't necessarily competing, were they?
No,
they could have all won $1 million if they'd all.
And right. Some of them.
Whereas this is a knockout. Yeah.
It was well done. What I will also say is this is the most decadent game show on television. Like there is no expense spared on anything.
Yeah.
From location to stunt to production to prize fund. This is the most decadent game.
I do think it's funny, like the race across the world.
Millions and millions.
20 grand.
Station X, which is good. All that effort and 100,000 between, this is all. It's great, but you could do that with, 2 or 3 tasks? Yeah. I know you've got to share it, but.
And you go all around. I mean, in luxury and.
It's just, and
you got to pay Brian Cox and another,
So Amazon though is fine. Yeah. I think sorry to come back. I mean, one of the tasks was the second episode was the Carver Media Group, in Bangkok, which was brilliant. All I would have done with that is at the end of the task, I'd just shown the clip of Bond and Wailing going down, just put Tomorrow Never Dies available. Sorry to keep going about that.
Yeah.
But on the previous series, you had the Bone Brothers, going up Sugarloaf Mountain, was it? I mean, it's just they had to do all that and then go on the cable car, and it was just what does bossa nova mean in Portuguese or something like. So, whereas on this one, when they were doing the cable car stuff, they were all doing well. Half of them were doing one task at that stage, and the other half were doing another one.
Yeah,
but the clock was against them, and the quicker you did this physical stuff gave an advantage.
Yeah,
in the overall thing. So it
more
wasn't
escape
just
room.
This looks nice. Let's do this task, and then it just in the end, you just a bankrupt. In the end, it's just a question.
Yeah. The one thing I do miss from the first series is the unnecessary shots of Brian Cox as the controller, writing down the amounts in a gorgeous fountain pen and
added on. Yeah.
But I think even he and Sophia, that's done better in this. In this series, I think. I mean, I assume, again, without wanting to ruin the sort of mad, I assume he only went in for a few days, and his voiceovers might have been recorded, and he's not actually there live when
the last series. He was definitely added on, and I think they added it in post production. Really.
Oh right.
Whereas this one, he was there at the beginning where he briefed them all, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then again, without spoilers, you'll see him at the end.
Yeah.
Right. With, the final bit.
Ugh.
But they were reacting to things more. And obviously, it was Bond fans will know that Bruce Fairstein was brought on. So I was thinking, all right, well, there must be a storyline. No, there's no storyline. I don't understand. I'm no offense, Bruce. I'm not sure what was done. But yeah, it felt more like an MI6 type of place that sort of was the command center whilst they were observing it. And like with the actress playing Sophia, it did feel like it's like acting. It felt in a good way. It felt like this is an actual mission going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Than, a chat between the producers, like, oh, how's he doing? It did feel better than the first series, definitely, that bit.
I think there was a massive change in Brian Cox's character in this series for me, I felt.
Character development.
Yeah, but like the first series, there was this whole thing that he was brought on as a Bond villain.
Yeah.
Like, he came on, I've wanted to be a Bond villain and put me in this and all this. Whereas here, he's the head of MI6 giving him missions.
Yeah.
So, and then and he still is a bit, there is still a bit ambiguous in terms of like what side of good he's on. But the character changed massively. And I actually loved it. I've got to be honest, and I was a massive fan of Sophia as well. I mean, I'd have her happily again. She was ace.
Yeah.
It was like they unashamedly, happily just scrapped so much from the first series. And thought, start again.
The first series had more of a title.
That's David Arnold done the brilliant new Bond theme. But in the first episode, it had about 2 seconds of it, and that was it. Yeah.
So that was a bit of a loss, but at the same time, everything's been compressed and reduced to half-an-hour episodes as well now, which that might be because
it was better edited.
And there was more of an effect of you watch one episode and you want to watch the next one, and you can because it's only been half an hour, so you can squeeze in another, that's very good for making it more-ish, if you know what I mean. You want to follow on to the next episode. So reducing the times, perhaps something.
Dun.
Oh, right.
Sorry. At the end of each.
That was that last time.
That was last series. I think.
Can you do the music at the end? Someone at the end credits of every single episode for this one. I think it might have been on the last series.
Oh.
Not a Bond theme at all, but
no.
Crisp and tense. But well, should we talk about the music? Because there was more Bond music. I'm still a big fan of it, some of it out of context, which is The Living Daylights. The Prater. Well, we had my favourite scene track of all time. Final confrontation. One of the suitcases had the money in and one of them didn't. You know, when they were doing the face-off and they had to It was the...
It's Octopus, is it?
No, they had done Bond Lookalike earlier.
Yeah, Bond Lookalike.
It was the final confrontation. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, right,
yeah. Sorry. Exercise at Gibraltar was on that as well.
Yeah.
And obviously that that was all Bond, wasn't it? It was the same location that it was all filmed in.
That's a big thing. That's a nice subtle thing for non-Bond fans to feel part of the world. The Man with the Gold, the first episode.
Yeah.
Hearing the Man with the Golden Gun musical cues and vibes. I think it's just that subtle.
Absolutely.
Not brainwashing, but just subtly putting you into the Bond world. And I do think when casual viewers of this go and watch the Bond films now,
yes,
they might think back to Road to a Million and think, that's right. And they maybe that's a deliberate, they want fans to process it backwards like that, as in see the films and then recognise it from Road to a Million. But the music was used in such a great way. Actually, I have to say, though, in the first series helped me appreciate the Skyfall soundtrack a little bit more.
Poison Garden.
Yeah.
Came back
some of those bits. But I mean, it when you're hearing some of John Barry's music, it's a huge elevation. It's several notches higher when you've got that playing, and the use of the Bond theme, because obviously John Barry could use it so well in so many different guises. You've got some lovely rolls of the Bond theme.
Yeah,
the track Back to MI6 is the one that's played all the time. It's really weird, the beginning of it. It's in No Time to Die when he, for some reason, unveils the Living Daylights car. I don't understand, but it's like a sort of uncertain sci-fi, and then it goes into the Bond theme. That's the main Bond thing that's used now for everything. So it's not quite over eclipsed. The name is Bond, James Bond, but I'm not sure I heard that actually. That was quite refreshing.
Progress.
Oh dear me.
I was just imagining if any of Michael Kamen's music had been used.
Well, I was thinking that there was no George Martin, of course.
No, was it all Barry actually?
No. It was
I'm sorry. I don't. I know
all the Craig music, every single Craig film. Night at the Opera was on it. The Concert of Solace theme. Me and Chris,
Tomorrow Never Dies music.
Tomorrow Never Dies, yeah. Thunderball.
Yeah, loads of Thunderball.
Yeah.
Which was, think about that.
But what I meant for us from the older decades, was there any Marvin Hamlish?
No. There was only Barry, Arnold, and the Craig composers.
Yeah, no Martin or anything like that.
No, Conti.
No Conti.
Yeah, but can you imagine going to Cortina in the snow and
seriously,
loads to get excited about. Spectre music on the approach to Professor Joe's hideout. Destroy Silicon Valley was on.
Yeah,
the track. Just think about this.
Yeah.
Absolute treats, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the Solange theme was on in Bahamas.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was crisp. I thought they might go for City of Lovers or something. I know that's Venice, but but yeah, that was.
And I know this is a more serious point, and it's one I've laboured in our actual reviews of the films and talking about Bond 26, where I have this overall concern that they've forgotten how important the music of the films is.
Yeah.
This just gave me a little bit of a boost that they do still remember how amazing the music of Bond is.
Absolutely.
The fact that they went back and used those tracks has restored my faith a little bit. Like you say, you just naming those tracks there, each moment they came on, it was like, brilliant. They still acknowledged the amazing array of music we've got.
Yeah, I also, and I did, you said about the last series helped you appreciate the Skyfall soundtrack more. The fact that we had more of the older music this time, but still quite a lot of music from the Craig era.
Yeah.
But it just sort of made it feel all part of the same world and less a separate thing, which I really like. And, and the different locations, going from one location that might have been in a Craig era film to another that was in Roger Moore, or, I don't know, it makes it feel more part of it.
It was brilliant that in Mexico you went to a location of License to Kill and Spectre.
Yes, yeah. Class. Yeah. And Thunderball and Casino Royale, sort of.
Absolutely that.
Yeah.
You can hear loads of our other episodes on iTunes, Spotify, and our YouTube channel, where we have interviews, special episodes, and reviews of all the Bond films. Simply search Really 007 Pod, and you should find loads of weird and wonderful content.
I've got a very special guest with me today, and it's none other than Jen Dorward from the first series of Road to a Million. Now, we've been talking about the second series, and there's quite a lot of changes that have gone along the way. But Jen, I just wanted to sort of introduce you and just sort of tell us how on earth did you get on this show? And I think a lot of people want to know. There's rumours that you didn't know it was a Bond show when you auditioned, so I don't know whether any of that's true.
So yeah, that is actually true. We didn't know it was a Bond show till quite far along in the process of being interviewed. So when we applied, it was through a link on Facebook that my sister had sent me actually, and all it said was it was a picture of something like a map, and it said looking for something like thrill-seeking couples for a global adventure or challenge, something to do with answering questions. And my sister said she sent it to me as a joke, saying, "How, why don't you apply for this?" And I looked at it and thought, well, why not? So I applied and then asked Beth if she could do it with me, and Beth, of course, said yes. And then we just started going through the interview and process that way. And that was the end of 2021. So I don't think we would have found out it was James Bond till probably 2022 sometime. But it definitely wasn't then. We had no idea. So to find out it was James Bond was amazing. Really exciting.
So the auditions were sort of trying to get to know you as people and whether you could cope with these kind of tasks. Was it like that sort of stuff?
So the first one, I remember having a phone call and someone rang me up and just said, "We like your application. Just tell us about yourself, tell us about your life." So I did, and then kind of forgot about it for a little while. And then I think had another phone call maybe, or maybe a video call, because at the time I was working in and out of Guyana in South America.
You're joking, Guyana? Seriously?
Yeah,
That's where
yeah.
my wife's mum is from.
Is it?
There you go. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
amazing place. Brilliant.
Yeah, I was there for a while from end of 2020 through to the middle of 2022. I think I
Oh,
left.
right.
I
Okay.
was there during the main part of the pandemic. So I was in and out of the country a lot at that time.
Oh, mate, that's amazing. That's incredible. Was Beth with you for any of that?
No, no, no. I was working for a company called International SOS out there.
Right, right.
Yeah. So it was a great experience. Made some really good friends, great team. I do miss some of them still.
Oh, this is wonderful. So you go on the show basically. So you do know it's sort of Bond themed when you're put in the Scottish Highlands, for instance. Was that the first
Yeah, yeah,
task?
that was our first one. Yeah.
And it was obviously the backdrop of Skyfall. So are you thinking at all, oh right, is this where Bond was or anything like that?
Well, we didn't know if we were going to be taken to the filming locations where it actually happened, but as it turned out, we weren't. It was places nearby or similar. So when we were taken to where we were actually doing our first challenge, we didn't think it was a actual Bond related location.
Of course, it worked, didn't it? That you were sent to one location to do task, and then if you got through that, you did the next one. And if people haven't watched it yet, without spoilers, you did very, very well. You did superbly. In terms of season 2, everyone is against each other. But is it right that you didn't really meet the other contestants much?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we were kept really separate from them till right at the end. It must have been really difficult logistically for the team to move everyone around in all different locations, but we did not even catch a glimpse of them till right at the end. It was made differently that season. So we were on our own journey. We weren't directly competing against them like they are in season 2.
You said that you didn't know it was a Bond show. I gather you are a Bond fan, though.
Yeah, big Bond fan. I grew up watching it. My dad's a big James Bond fan. So I grew up watching all the old Sean Connery ones many, many times.
That's so
I
good.
like the newer Daniel Craig ones.
Oh, right. So that's interesting. That I did. I remember chatting to your dad at the Cue the Music concert in London, I think, last year. And it's great. It's great to see the different generations of Bond fans represented. So it's interesting that you quite like the newer and the original. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the original ones are kind of the movies from my childhood.
Yeah.
But the newer ones are more modern. And I think from reading the books, I remember reading the books a few years ago.
Right.
I think the Daniel Craig ones are a bit more true to how he is in the books. I think it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking that at the time.
Yeah. I think
the character.
This is great because there's criticism of, on social media, like, oh, these contestants, they don't know what Bond is because there's no mention of Bond in the edit. So it's refreshing to find out not only you're a fan, but you've actually read the books as well.
Yeah. They wanted us to be in the world of Bond.
Yes.
So that's why it wasn't acknowledged. So it was like we were on our own Bond-like adventure. But I guess that wasn't really what the viewers wanted to see, was it? Because that was what a lot of the feedback was negatively about, was that it wasn't acknowledged enough. And I think looking at the new season, I actually really like the way it's done, the way they can mention it and the music. I think it's really great.
I understand in a way why they did that. Like, you're right, because you think if you're meant to be in the shoes of James Bond, why on earth would you be talking about James Bond? It sort of breaks the illusion of it. But now I think as a viewer, I think you're probably right. You just feel a bit more in the Bond world. It's probably better the way it's done. But I don't know in terms of when you were going through each task, did it just genuinely feel like you're doing these incredible things? It must have felt fairly Bond, even though you didn't have to mention the guy.
It did, definitely. Especially in the second challenge in Turkey, when we were on top of the building and having to do that rope climb and get the briefcase and come back up. That felt pretty Bond.
It's impossible.
You're obviously into all that anyway, so you were ready for that. Is it that is right? You're quite an adventure seeker.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I like adventurous things.
How
motorbikes?
Yeah, well, of course, motorbikes, yeah. Well, there's not been much of that yet, is there? I suppose that'd be quite difficult to get them all on a motorbike if they all had to learn it. But yeah, you were in snorkeling. Were you in the Caribbean as well?
Yes. Yeah, we did that. Yeah. Although that wasn't a great experience for me. My mask was leaking. It kept letting in water.
Yeah.
Have you scuba dived before?
No, unfortunately not. No, not
so
yet.
You have to equalize. So when you sort of put the pressure to equalize the pressure in your middle ears. So as you go down, you have to keep equalizing. Sometimes you can sort of really hold your nose and blow out to equalize the pressure in your middle ears. But I'd go down and equalize, but then the mask would fill up with water. And then when you need to clear the mask of water, you have to tip your head back and I think pinch the bridge and then blow out. It's been a while since I did it to blow the water out of the mask, but then you need to equalize again. So I was trying to go down, the mask kept filling up, and then I was trying to clear it and equalize, and then it just kept filling up again. And then I ended up going into a bit of a panic attack. I couldn't control my breathing. I started hyperventilating, couldn't do anything about it, and had to go back up to the surface. And it was really frightening because I'm quite claustrophobic. That's probably about my one fear, really. I'm not scared of heights. I'm not scared of spiders or anything like that. I am claustrophobic, so that felt really claustrophobic. Being underwater and having your mask fill up. So it was horrible.
Gosh, we don't see all this as it goes on, do we? And
no, that wasn't shown.
I mean, I'd be absolutely terrified of the heights. I don't think I could do any of those ones. But in a positive note, you did get to drive the DB5, didn't you?
Oh yeah. That was beautiful. Yeah.
Emergency nurses, Beth and Jen.
Let's press some buttons. Real smoke. For guns. That's awesome.
Beautiful car, but it was actually quite difficult to drive. No power.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, well, no power steering, no power braking, that kind of thing. But yeah, it was beautiful, but very nerve-wracking because driving through the narrow roads of Switzerland where it was all snowy and icy.
Oh, hello.
And as we were coming into the town, people were recognising the car and they were just stepping out in front of it with their film, with their phone. And so you had to be really careful because people just did not care. Just that you didn't accidentally drive into them.
Dear me, I didn't even think about that. Because obviously when it's filmed, you just see you guys, don't you? And the background and everything.
Yeah, a lot of people recognise that car when we drove through the town. Yeah, that was cool.
Well, the format of the show was different then because you had different levels of questions and it wasn't a knockout. So theoretically, if everybody got the first question wrong, that's the end of the show. But you might...
that's true.
Yeah. But you might... How much did you win in the end? You did pretty well.
300,000 between us. So 150,000 each.
That's so good, isn't it? And that was the most, wasn't it? That series that was the most.
The others got the same.
They got to say yes, they did,
Yeah.
The Bone Brothers,
Yeah, and Josh and Kamara.
Yes, who did, They were sort of the dark horses of the tournament, weren't they? They got better and better.
Yeah.
Mainly her, we think, but
She was really brave.
For £25,000. Climate.
Big crane.
yeah,
Yeah.
Materia. Yeah, it was quite
Yeah.
funny because her husband was like, "No, you go on, you do that." No.
Maybe he was scared of heights. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
well, yeah, I'm sure he was. Yeah, don't blame him. Dear me.
Yeah.
But your final task was quite a difficult one, wasn't it? And that was in the Alps.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were right up in the top of a mountain, and it was really high, and we were a bit dizzy because of how high it was. And it was really, really cold out on the side of that mountain. And I can't remember how cold it was, but it was something like, must have been -20 or something with the speed in the ice. It was a blizzard. And after we'd finished, I had frostnip on one of my fingers, which was really, really painful. We went inside, and Beth was making me hold it in front of a heater to warm it up. Yeah, it was really, really cold. Yeah, it was really challenging trying to think and answer that question right at the end when you're just so cold, you just want to get out of that weather.
Was it the question I'm trying to remember of which is the most what cost this? And it had a few
Yeah.
options. Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
And it was the
Yeah,
Caribbean Islands or something like that.
That was really difficult because I don't think anyone would have known that really, because it was 500,000, and instantly I said, well, you can get a house in my hometown for that, so there's no way you can get an island for that.
Yeah.
So I mean, who would have known that?
No, and it means surely now more people are going to buy properties in the Caribbean for that cheap.
Yeah.
Oh dear me! Did you not get to go to Jamaica, or was it
Yeah, we've
Bahamas?
been to Jamaica, but we were in a different villa.
Right. Okay. Right.
Scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was still amazing. It was right on the beachfront.
Oh right. Well then. Oh dear me.
Beautiful.
When it's all edited and you've done it all, you can't tell anyone you're even on the show, can you? Never mind.
No, I kept it really, really secret.
Yeah.
I didn't tell even closest friends. Well, they knew I was doing a show, but yeah, I was very strict. Didn't tell them. I just said, you need to wait. You've got to wait and see, because it was a surprise. Maybe wait and see.
So you just back to work normal, and then know that this is going to come on TV soon.
Yeah. So we finished filming in February 2023, and then we had to wait until the November when it came out. So that wait just felt like forever.
And then you sort of know there were trailers, weren't there, that come on it, and was that the first point people were like, Jen, what's going on here? We didn't know you were.
Yeah. That was maybe October. It wasn't until quite soon before, maybe 10 days before or something.
Yeah.
End of October that they started releasing the trailers, and we could finally share the show that we were going to be. That was amazing.
One of my schoolmates was in one of the early series of The Apprentice, and I knew he was going on it, but then it was like each week, it was like, oh, Tom, am I fired or not? It's like, he got to the final, to be fair, he did pretty well, but you're not allowed to say anything because it's all embargoed, isn't it, until it's done now. And even now, people should go back and watch it. Definitely, it's not like a TV series where you have to have watched the first. You have to watch the first before the second. You can watch either of them at any time because they're both.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you go to the premiere, don't you? Which is incredible. That must be special.
Really good. Yeah, really special. It went so fast though. The evening just disappeared.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really great.
And you're meeting these contestants for the first time, aren't you?
So we met the Bone Brothers in Switzerland briefly. We met Josh and Kamara. I still don't think we've met them that much. I think we saw them and maybe waved, but I don't think we spoke to them properly. I think we were still kept separate at that point. So yeah, the premiere was when we first actually got to speak to people. But we didn't get a lot of time because, of course, we were all being taken to various places for interviews and, photos, that sort of thing. Yeah, so yeah, I remember now, actually, we met in this place. It was Battersea Power Station.
Yeah.
We were in a room, and then we were all there, and there were drinks and food, and we were mingling. That was when we met for the first time a lot of people.
Wow. And you've got these incredible shared experiences. And I suppose you don't know how well the others have done, do you then?
No, what did we? Actually, we kind of did, because when me and Beth got to the icy mountain at the top, that was when we looked at the files of the other contestants.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah,
because at that point we didn't even know we were the only ones left in. We thought there was us and another pair. So then we were looking at all the papers and working out who everyone was, and then I think it said when they went out, which missions they did.
Yeah.
So we didn't know until that point. So I think that might have been when we saw faces.
Yeah.
So that was still all a bit of a rush, so we wouldn't have taken it in.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember when you go
No,
and meet them,
but
would you?
we saw then that we were the last ones in. I think that was shown in the show as well. I was shocked because we had no idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh. So even that is, even though you couldn't quite get to the next stage, that is an incredible feeling, isn't it? To be there, even though it's freezing.
Yeah, yeah. That was really amazing. It was great.
Oh. And you met Brian Cox, did you? And Barbara
Yes,
Broccoli?
yes, he had some photos with us.
Oh.
We didn't really get much time to talk to him though. He just came in for photos.
Yeah, yeah.
And Barbara Broccoli, she was lovely.
Amazing. I mean, these are
Really
our heroes.
friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was brilliant. Really happy to pose for pictures with us. Lovely.
Well, and obviously since your series and this series, I know they're not sort of directly linked with Barbara and Michael, but of course Amazon are now fully in control.
Mm.
So I think that might have been I don't know, that might have been one of the reasons it's slightly differently marketed and everything. But coming on to the second series then, as a viewer, if you're seeing a particular scene set up or a challenge, you might be thinking, oh right, I bet they've had to do this in preparation, and I bet they've had to do that, and I bet they've had to like set up the shot, and I bet there's like some safety people there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
because you know how it's made. So the
Yeah.
bit where they were in the building and someone was tied up and the other one had to go and rescue them and the other person was shouting and shouting.
Yeah.
I was thinking they've been told to do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They've been
yeah,
told to sit there and keep shouting and shouting to stress the other person out,
yeah, yeah.
distract them. Yeah.
That's a good
Because they
example.
kept doing it over and over again, and then I think one of them came in and said to the teammate, like, "Why do you keep shouting?"
Yeah, yeah. What about this spider on me?
Yeah, because that would have made sure to create added stress on their
Yeah,
teammate, you know?
yeah. And of course, the tasks were more themed on the actual films and scenes in the films. So, like they had the Living Daylights bit in Vienna on the wheel and all that,
Mm,
and we had the sort of casino scene.
mm.
There were any sort of characters you were particularly drawn to in this series?
Of the contestants.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, I really like Ricky and Noddy. I think they did a
Top
really
guys.
great job. Yes.
Yeah.
And also two sisters as well.
Yeah, they were funny, but they did well, didn't they?
They did, yeah, they did really well. Because to start with, they were really emotional, and I kept thinking,
Yeah.
no, stop, don't be emotional. And then as it went through, they kind of got stronger. So I really liked to see that. I was like, go girls.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
And like with you and Beth, as you're going along, how close were you, and did it make you sort of more appreciative of each other's skills and what you'd be good at?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Me and Beth are close. She is, well, I say she's like my extra sister.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're very similar in personality.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of similar life experiences as well. I think we just work really well together.
Yeah, because I can't remember any argument. I mean, compared to Kat and Maya, they are quite young and they're those kind of personalities, aren't they? So you'd expect them to be a bit more. But in the end, they are sisters and they get through it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sisters and siblings are going to have a bit of a
Yes.
fall off, aren't they?
Yeah.
But me and Beth are both quite calm people.
Yeah.
And it would take quite a lot to stress both of us out. So we're not the type where, we'd instantly like flip or lose our temper or snap at each other. And when you're used to working in situations where patients are stressing you out or being really, difficult, or even just really unwell, you need to be able to keep completely calm because otherwise you just can't do your job. So I guess that's kind of programmed into us.
Now we've seen you at some Bond events, but that must be incredible, sort of entering the Bond world as a Bond personality. How can I put it?
It's fun. I really like doing it, and I come to the events with my dad. And we're coming to the next Cue the Music one next month as well.
Yes. Well, we'll see you there, definitely.
Nice. Because everyone's so friendly.
Yeah.
Lovely. And we met some of the Bond girls at the last event as well.
Oh,
Carol,
yeah.
we had lunch with Carol, Alison. They're great fun.
They're absolutely brilliant, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just really nice to meet people that are just so friendly. And just seeing the way people talk to each other on social media, everyone's really just supportive of each other.
Yeah.
So it is a really nice community feeling.
People have said in the past that, like Star Wars fans and other fandoms can get quite angry, and, there are loads of arguments online about this is good, this is bad. But Bond fans, I think, tend to be a little bit more cordial, and certainly in real life, we've met so many good friends through that, and we didn't even know these people were out there until we did this podcast. So it's like a new group of friends we've created.
Yeah, same. I made friends through these events and meeting people through podcasts and stuff. So the Bond Experience, the Bond Report, we look forward to seeing them again in October.
Yeah, we know these guys. Yeah.
Really friendly guys.
Yeah.
So be great to see everyone again.
Yeah. And it was good to see you at the club events, the secret location.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah.
That was incredible. All those cars and gadgets.
It
was a really good afternoon.
And you've actually driven one of them, so
Yeah.
Who knows what will be in store for Series 3? I'm sure there will be a third series.
Oh, yeah, I would have thought so. I haven't seen actually any reviews recently on Series 2. I was looking at them more around the time when it came out, but I would hope it's got a good rating.
Certainly Bond fans.
It's more to a wider audience the way it's made now.
Yeah.
I think it's really easy to watch, and the music's really good, and I think it's really worth watching.
Yeah. And you're going to be excited. Hopefully we'll get a new Bond film in the next couple of years, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really know how it's going to carry on from the last one, but
yeah. I think it just have to be a reset, as they call it, I think, and that was a different timeline, or I think that's the only way, really, I can see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can come back from that.
But he's definitely coming back, so don't worry.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Back.
Maybe it didn't happen after all. Maybe
that's it, isn't it? I don't think they'll do. Herring. Was it a dream? All that nonsense? No, I don't think they'll do that.
He was just he was badly injured, and now he's done his arm. Yeah.
I think it's funny that where it's filmed is the last scene. I think.
Okay.
It's like someone's put a grave there. James Bond's grave.
I went to see the film with my dad in the cinema, and we were just both of it walked out of it in disbelief, going, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see it coming? Because I didn't really. No.
We were like really upset by that. It was like, how can you do that?
It is a big loss, isn't it? It did feel like the end of an era as well. But I suppose it is with Amazon taking over, so we'll have to see.
Yeah. We look forward to it.
Yeah.
See what's coming next.
Well, thankfully we've had your show to keep us entertained in the meantime, and we'll be looking forward to the next series. But I've really enjoyed the show, and I think a lot of Bond fans are particularly. I think when your series came out, people were a bit frustrated because they didn't know where the next film was coming from. We hadn't heard anything. Mm-hmm. Now they know that there's something going along. I think they're being a bit more positive towards it. So, I hope some of the fans go back and see the first series as well, because you guys were particular favourites and very popular, I think, with the audience. So you did really well.
Oh, thanks. I think everyone likes nurses as well, though, don't they?
Yeah, it's been an odd person who didn't really, would it? Even more so after the pandemic. So, you certainly were very popular that way. No, but you did brilliantly. You were very brave, and you were nice people. So that's all Bond fans seem to want, I think. All right, Jen, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully we'll see you in London. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. We'll see you next month then.
Fantastic.
Nice to talk to you.
The contestants this year, so there were 8, and not quite, but one couple is knocked out in each episode because there's 8 episodes, but the first one goes in, as a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
There's Dan and Dylan. So Dan, he had an eye patch, and his son Dylan had autism. They do really well, don't they? Considering
they're great.
Incredibly well. There was Kat and Maya, the 2 sisters. They're probably the youngest. To get the youngsters in.
If they've seen a Bond film, then I'm.
Yeah.
They
very posh.
Pure entertainment, though.
Yeah, but they were really. You think these 2, they're not going to be very good, but they did very well.
They grew into the show. They made a dreadful start, I would say.
Well, I'm going to argue that one of the sisters grew into the show and carried the other on her back, but
yes, yeah. Ricky and Noddy, I mean, brilliant names. They were born on the same day. Is that
same
right?
hospital.
So they're not actually brothers; they're just friends.
No.
Yeah.
Blood brothers, mate.
It is fairly remarkable, their story and their friendship, but not in a very ordinary lives kind of way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Very ordinary people. Their bond and their relationship was very special.
And I do know that they love James Bond as well. They absolutely love Bond.
Yeah.
Well, they give glimpses of it, don't they? Talking about driving the Aston Martin, and he talks about this is what you know. There are moments he said, where he referenced his childhood, where watching Bond for 2 hours would be my escape from the world and stuff like that. And driving the Aston Martin, having a toy of it, that is enough for me. That is hearing someone normal say that, rather than hearing a Bond fan saying it, hearing an everyman say it is pretty special.
Yeah,
flipping it. I'm just going through them. We're then going to talk more about them, and don't worry. This is Shabina and Sid, Harry. I mean, you must. So they were similar to the couple last time.
Yeah, they were.
How on earth,
a husband making a wife do everything, and then
Assad and Jamila, brother and sister.
Great story.
Northeastern as well.
Northeast, yeah.
Rob and Alex, who we've mentioned, the husbands, and I think we'll go into it. But Alex is
unbelievable.
The biggest divisive character in the show, so we'll talk about him in a bit. Stephen and Shelley, quite frustrating. The couple. Again,
such an underrated squeaky voice.
Oh,
it was all her, wasn't it? Really, he was doing everything. And then Sam and Luke, who really crisp Northern lads, Yorkshire lads, maybe they again the same age, 34.
I think Yorkshire.
They would have gotten further, I think, but that challenge is a very difficult one where they faced Ricky and Noddy, and two likable pairs. Them. So go on. I'll to mention Cat and Maid.
So when they were on, I mean, in a very judgmental way, a lot of audiences will make an instant judgment on, but they even address it themselves in terms of their background. They are very open about their privileged background, kind of. Their debut episode, they really struggled, and but it's quite amazing that it wasn't, for me, not a complete turnaround, but it's amazing how a pair can grow on you and develop, and you can kind of see redeeming features and kind of the effect that going through stuff together has on you as a couple or as a couple of friends or whatever. They had some interesting moments, and like you say, they brought a more youthful quality to it, didn't they?
I loved them. I thought they were pure entertainment from start to finish. Can't remember which one's which, but the
Cat is the elder, I think,
and taller.
Taller one. Of course, I thought she was brilliant. I thought she was patient. I thought she basically carried her sister on her back pretty much the whole way out. And I think her sister was pure entertainment. I mean, how she argued with Kat about how to shoot a gun in that task before they'd even set one off. Comedy.
Side view. Am I on target looking from the side?
Yeah.
But I thought that what really spoke to me about those two is that when they did the task where they had to obtain secrets about other people and they watched the videos, they were genuinely moved by other people's story and were very open of the privileged background that they had and that they hadn't experienced that. And I thought that was some brilliant humility and brilliant self-awareness. And I do agree it helped them in the tasks. And actually, when they crossed over and worked with another team, they actually worked really well together there as well.
Yeah, that's right.
They were great. They were really great.
We didn't have a couple like that last year, did we? Sort of a comedy young girl couple. I say comedy, but they were very good.
I do think it was harder to get to know. You seem to have got to know them more. I think
Yeah,
in this whole.
Apart from the Bone Brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh dear. Yes, right. Yeah, Dylan and Dan. So Dan's the dad, Dylan the son. The way they went out was pretty unlucky. That very crisp task where
Yeah.
you see again, last series it would have just been a question, wouldn't
The Day
it?
of the Dead.
In a briefcase, but now they did the whole dance thing with. It's
Yeah.
an underrated Conjuring universe film. No one wants it. The Curse of La Llorona. Don't want it, and I still didn't get it.
Yeah.
I still didn't get the answer. Yeah, but you know they had that whole dance and everything, and they were looking at the clues, and yeah, I felt a bit bad for the son then because he had it and then he changed his mind into it at the last minute.
Yeah, I do. You know, he again. You know, say again, like it did. You did get to know them more, and it's really good how they have couples, they have siblings, they have friends, they have parents and children. You know, because there's different dynamics to all those relationships, and theirs was a nice father and son relationship, and you know, where they clearly had a strong bond between them, and you know they did really well.
Yeah.
A bit unfortunate not to get through, but you know, it's amazing in this because it's not all or nothing. They went away with a significant amount of money and like
life-changing.
Yeah. And you know, you're pleased for them because they you do I don't know.
So did Shabina.
But I mean, without spoiling anything, Dan, the father's greatest achievement was when he partnered up with Alex.
Oh yeah.
I was just about to say,
I mean, yeah.
But no, sorry, but one of my
two
highlights,
nice people,
which I've mentioned
basically.
before, was Dylan. There's a mission which involved creeping up and over lasers without setting them off.
Oh yeah.
And when he set the final one off, and that meant that he could go no further. When he exclaimed, "Son of a bitch," that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen on telly. As in, there's so much that I love about that. And then because you know it's kind of lifted from a film, that isn't it? That's what film characters say. Also, like his dad, you know, immediately like, "All right, calm down a bit."
Yeah.
So funny. And then they had some great dynamics where Dylan had been working with Rob, from the other couple.
That was Chris.
And Dylan had been, you know, saying, "Oh, you're better than my dad. You know, my dad's always doing this or whatever and doing that." It's a funny moment where a son, you know, gets fed up of the dad kind of. It's funny.
So harsh.
But totally in keeping of a father-son relationship where they're not falling out. They're at odds with each other for a moment.
Because wasn't there sort of an awkward task where they had to sort of choose who they'd think would be the weakest? I'm sure Rob and Alex chose them at some point.
Yes,
they had to apologise when they had to work with them later.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Rob apologised.
But I think Alex did as well, actually.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
because they thought they were the biggest threat, is what they said.
But Alex was quite sure that they'd be going, wouldn't they? Like, they were 7. Yeah, they'll be out. And then they walked through, and he's just like his face just dropped.
Well, go on. Let's talk about Rob and Alex because I mean they're brilliant characters. I'm sorry, but even if you don't like, well, I think everybody liked Rob, didn't they? But if you don't like Alex,
Rob. Let's just say Rob is an absolute legend.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
in his approach to everything.
Husband.
Yeah.
Lovely guy, really lovely.
Yeah.
And on the other side, I will say that I really liked watching Alex's reactions to thing and the outrageous comments he would make and the most unusual behaviour in such situations.
Child.
Completely on a different level.
Yeah.
Way of thinking and approaching tasks and speaking to people. And obviously it was like offensive and rude and upsetting at times. So, like, it's hard to watch, genuinely.
Yeah.
But then it reacts in outrageous ways to other things that made you think it just doesn't think like me. Like he is on a totally different level of some sorts. But the show pretty much tuned into his character as well in how they edited it in terms
The
of
villain edit.
Yeah, because you've got him in those opening scenes talking about their journey and how he can speak all these languages and all,
Yeah.
and they'll intersperse that with him failing to use a language. And,
Yeah.
And then they'll talk about his gymnastics heroic past, and then they'll intersperse with him, setting off lasers.
Yeah.
So like the edit,
You knew it though, didn't you?
kind of cotton onto it to make it entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's right. I mean, you're going to say that you're this, and this, and then you don't do those things well. It's just good television, isn't
it? Yeah. And then at the challenge, the Spectre, the sort of dance the ghost woman.
Oh yeah.
He was like, well, we have an advantage because one of us speaks Spanish, talking about himself, and then like I can't tell what she's saying.
Yeah. But then, like, picking up the flowers and, like, trying to
come up
with mimes for the
match.
But did he have a go at Rob for that? Like, come on, what am I doing? I'm getting nothing back. But I was going to mention about him arriving at Carver Media Group and really struggling to communicate. It's really apprentice type editing. Some other highlights of mine. Yeah, when they were doing those the pistols, the Raul Silva, like. He was holding his gun, and then Rob was. I don't know why Rob was speaking so quietly, but then he's like, right, I'm putting the gun down.
Starting again each time.
And then he did it again. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. And then just shot it.
Yeah, he went and shot it. No, you're right. But did I can't remember whether I said this before while we've been recording, but. When I rewound it because when and the water challenge when they had to dive into the water, he like tried to do a proper dive but like got it a bit wrong, so like a bit like his feet going in first and his hands at the same time. I mean, an incredible character. I mean, he would absolutely frustrate the life out of you, and something's not particularly nice, but you don't, some of the other characters maybe aren't as memorable, anywhere near as memorable as him, and you might not remember them as much, whereas you'll never forget this guy.
Well, there were some other contestants who talked about them being Bond villains, didn't they? Like they compared their image.
Yes, they did, yeah.
It might have even been Ricky and Noddy, I don't know.
Yeah.
But also some of Alex's facial expressions so animated physically. Like his reactions to either if they lost or if they got through, he could not contain himself.
Yeah.
And obviously that rubbed up some of the other contestants the wrong way. But I mean, some incredible images and visuals of his reactions. And when it's like coming up on the next episode, you just get a glimpse of Alex, in the most animated way, like, right, because on the strength of that glimpse of Alex, I have to watch the next episode. Yeah. So in many ways, he kind of carried you into the next episode.
Go on, John.
but Rob deserves
a medal.
Yeah, a medal.
Rob deserves a medal.
Or to be free, I don't know.
I mean, what do you say? He was rude. He was obnoxious. He had no filter. So his celebration when he went through, forgetting that somebody else went out at that moment, was just quality. There's a bit where Dylan's dad with the eye patch, he turns to Dylan and said, he's a bit of a prima donna. He's a bit of a diva, isn't he? I love that little bit. And then, obviously, on the scuba diving challenge, he's going on about how great they've done, and then he realises he's picked the wrong box. And for all this, I know, listen, nobody should be abused for these roles or anything like that. And it's all well and good me sat here and saying this is... I don't know how I'd respond to under pressure either.
Yeah.
You do have to think that like these are proper. I mean, I could on the face of it, I'd be quitting at the start when I do a bungee jump. So I have to put that into context that you don't know what pressure these people are under.
Yeah, going underwater when you're not a fan of being underwater.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
I think there was something quite Brent about him as well, David Brent.
Very Brent, very Brent. Like he saw himself as a Renaissance man, bless him. And but I think I've heard this idea, which is also slightly Brent about. Yeah, the edit's done it for me and all. If you don't give him the material to edit, there's nothing to edit, is there? Do you know what I mean? And I just think that like. He's surely not as nasty a guy as he sometimes comes across in that or anything like that. But I also don't throw the baby out the bathwater and try and be so defensive about it. Just take it for what it is at the end of the day. And you've come out of it very wealthy and with a great experience and enjoy it.
I can't wait to meet the guy. I'd love to meet this.
Well, I mean, he's going to be coming to one of your dinner parties, isn't he?
I was going to say.
Very much one of them. But I can imagine the next really 007 Hamilton in Manchester will be right there,
Like, hugs,
absolutely.
How good were they?
Yeah.
When he followed us, I mean, goodness me. In terms of some of the others, I did mention before one of the other couples who... Stephen and Shelley.
Yeah, he kind of he was walking the line of sometimes being very loving and respectful, but then also, indeed, not being.
Yeah. When they were walking at the fairground, the sniper.
Yeah.
And he was like, right, we're looking for, we're looking for a sniper. And she was like, sniper. And then he deliberately didn't run because she'd found it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's a real baby. Yeah.
There were a few moments, though, when they didn't run. I was staggered. Even her. There was some, timed activities. I think, when he was locked up with the snake, I mean, so good. While she was trying to... But like her walking from place to place with only 20 minutes on the clock, like this all needs to be done by running. It's so funny.
They just weren't very good at the game, were they? Sadly,
no.
I think that was the thing. They were in the bottom two in the first challenge, and it just so happened that they were playing against the only other guy who was more laid back than him.
Shabir. Oh dear!
Let's
do it.
Yeah,
absolute genius, Sid and Shabina. I'm gutted they weren't involved.
I know
the crocodiles kick.
It was so obvious what the answer to that was. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, lucky that on all those.
Is it the elbow?
Yeah.
I've talked myself out of it. Yeah.
Again, she was far better than him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With the scorpions, he was absolutely,
You're better, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, there was a couple in the first series who kept making his wife do absolutely. Drop the crane and material and everything. And she was lovely, wasn't she? But they're geniuses, these people. They're great casting on it. You can't argue with this casting.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Real variety. And even though we might think some of these were weaker than others, some of those weaker contestants got further than some of the stronger ones in the way that the way that some of the tasks were organised meant that there were opportunities for these weaker contestants to actually make some progress.
Yeah, really, really good mix. I also think like Sid in particular. Really Harry Hill. If Harry Hill was around now, I mean, I don't know whether streaming he would do, but, he would have popped up at the end and be singing a song with,
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What a golden age.
Yeah.
But even, how do they do all these tasks? I mean, they're just... How difficult the stuff that they had to do.
Oh.
The Carver Media Group building... If you were scared of heights like me, there's very little you could have done. Going underwater, there's quite a lot of that if you're scared of water.
Yeah.
And then, of course, creepy crawlers and all that sort of stuff. So, fair play to them all. There's Assad and Jamila as well.
Yeah, they were good. They were
lovely, weren't they?
They were, great story, and physically, I felt that they could have done any task really.
Yeah.
Did they go out to Noddy and it was Noddy and
it was the Professor Joe's retreat.
Yeah.
See, what I would say about those two, I can't include the Yorkshire lads because I didn't see that much of them. But I would say that those two couples, Sad and Jamila and Noddy and Ricky, were the two couples that were the best teams. They were the two that I'd say that one wasn't propping the other up. They were a team that was actually like working together really well. And I think it was a bit of a shame that they went out as soon as they did, really.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I just want to stop for a minute and just think, like, you open up on the first episode, you've got Nicholas Wooderson's character infiltrating you, and then you go to Thailand, you go to Scaramanga's Island.
Yeah, you've got the Golden Eye Dam.
Golden Eye Dam. We said when we did the pre-title sequence review last year, we said how good would Scaramanga's Island be for a Road to a Million location. We said that in that. It goes there. It's unapologetic. The Barry scores blasting. They've got to find a boat called Goodnight. And this is in the first 20 minutes of this. And I think that's what I want.
Boxing,
and then they got the final bits at the boxing, the kickboxing. And I think to myself, no, this is enough for me. They're owning what this is. And I was like, this was class for me. That I'm like, I was fanboying all over. When they went to License to Kill's hideout, I was like, absolutely just loving this. I can't have many complaints this time. I really can't.
And to be fair, it is interesting that they have listened to some criticisms, or they've they must have had some feedback, and they've put it into practice and
apparently
improved
Brian
things.
Cox said that, didn't he, at the premiere?
Oh, really?
We know it's a lot better than the first series. Or
there
was some comment apparently.
He's usually fairly easy on speaking, his own mind. Opinion, I do really like him, and I really like the fact that he's now. I would have loved to see him in a Bond film, but he's in something Bond, and he's part of the.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, he's got a character.
Oh, just think though, if Professor Joe had appeared at the hideout, they could have done that, couldn't they? Realistically.
Yeah, maybe.
But to get,
I suppose that's something they could do. Yeah, get some. Yeah, get some more former.
Elephant
characters.
Boy could have turned up
with his interpreter.
Yeah. Yes, he was available. I'm sure there's going to be a season 3.
Yeah,
there's so many places that Bond can go to. Even like they went to Venice last time, but they could do more there, couldn't they? They could do quite a lot more. They did go to Scotland. We could have stuff on the Thames, can't we? There's endless possibilities. And
Istanbul.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Do a whole series in Istanbul, couldn't you?
Yeah. San Francisco.
Right. I can't.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Something's got to happen on those trams.
Yeah. But by the time there's a new series in a couple of years or whatever, who knows? There might be some new Bond locations to.
Yeah, some new influences.
So thanks guys. Absolutely love this show. We look forward to exploring more. And if you haven't seen it, do watch it.
Yeah.
And I think it's more bingeable, I think, than the first series. And they're not. I think they're 30-35 minutes long each episode. It won't take you long. I always say it's, for some reason people can't sit through a 2-hour film, but they can sit through a 10-hour, 1 hour. Each part is 1 hour TV series very easily. So, you'll have finished it in no time.